Hey, good morning, folks. How's everybody doing today? This is part two of a three-part series of an interview that Parla and I did with Terry and Cindy Goss. Terry and Cindy full-time for 5 years, and then right now Terry's managing the Victoria Palms RV Resort down here in South Texas. And they've been doing that for 3 or 4 years, I think. So we threw out the questions that you guys have submitted to them, and plus a few of our own. And really, they had some good information and good responses to those questions. I think you're going to enjoy. We covered a number of things like living in a small RV. Should I take off RVing early and kind of work part-time, or should I stay working longer and save up? And he talked a little bit about moving into an RV park permanently as you get older and some of those costs, as well as cost of a park model if you want to live in an RV park. A lot of good points, a lot of interest I think you'll enjoy. And I have to apologize ahead of time. We filmed this entire interview in the activity center, in the lobby of the activity center there at Victoria Palms. And there's some overhead music, there's echo on our voice every now and then, and there's people moving in and out and some background noise that if those things irritate you, probably go ahead and just skip on to the next video. But there's a lot of good information in here, so if you can put up with the background noise and stuff, I think you'll probably enjoy it. And we certainly enjoyed doing it, and thanks to Terry and Cindy for giving us an hour and a half of your time for this interview. Part 3 should be out here in the next week or so, but here's part 2. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks. Bye-bye.
What about possible caravans for short-term traveling? Do you know anything about that?
Only through my experience as a property manager. We have 5 or 6 caravans that come in here every year. Most of them stop here for a week on their way south into Mexico. And it's amazing that they come all the way down from Canada, but they spend the whole winter in Mexico. And there's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of assurances that come with traveling together. You know, it's almost like a very large family when they come in, and
makes good sense.
It's very different than the individual that comes in.
So there's quite a comfort level
Yes.
being in groups as well.
Right. Well, and especially if you're going to go to Mexico, you definitely want a caravan if you're going to go to Mexico.
Exactly. There's a lot of people worried about that. With safety becoming a concern for some people, how have some of the folks that you know of handled the issues of safety?
Well, you know, our probably biggest safeguard, I think, was our dog.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know, having a pup on board, and ours was about 40-pound, but she was a mix of golden and chow. So she looked larger than she really was, and she had a really ferocious bark.
She did.
And she could hear everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was like an early warning system. So
She was a good watchdog.
Ours is like a stuffed teddy bear, so not too
Yeah.
much.
well, now everybody knows that.
Child stuffed teddy bear. Okay,
But she guards the shotgun, so
Oh, there you go.
Dan H. had asked, I would assume a lot of people are snowbirds and return home in the summer. I would like to know how they like living so close to a neighbor in these RV resorts when they've been used to a lot more privacy in their homes.
That's an interesting
That's
question.
an interesting question as well.
I've never heard that concern, but that certainly is a concern, I'm sure, for some people. There are some parks that, I'm sorry, there are some parks that we've been to that were a little bit closer than we'd like to be to our neighbors, but you know, that's just kind of part of it, and you either deal with it or move on.
And one thing, even the nicest RV, I mean, y'all got it about as nice as they come, but people probably sitting out in their lot, not very far away, can hear y'all talking about what's for dinner. Or we hear all the
Yes.
time.
We
Yes.
just don't talk.
Yes, we do.
We go on.
We never stop talking.
It is amazing when we're sitting out in the evening, the conversations that we've heard.
Really?
Look, not people just talking, and you want to go say, excuse me,
Yeah, I
we
can
hear all
everything.
that. So that's the biggest issue we have, is that overhearing, you want to be cautious of it. But it helps to meet people. I mean, you're
Yes.
more inclined to say hello, how you doing?
Yes.
That's the other
You
side.
can't hardly help them, but
Right.
What we see is that people, we're fortunate to have a very nice property here. We have nice amenities, but even the nicest amenities won't get people to come. It's a factor, as is price and location and a lot of other things, but it's people. You come to a place because you know the people there, and it's like coming back to a family. They have a winter family and a summer family. And to give you an idea of how close that bond becomes, this summer, just from our property, there were 130 of our residents that got together up in Toronto, I believe, to have a summer reunion. You know,
I think they do that every year.
yeah, it's just a really incredible bond that takes place.
Camaraderie.
That's
Yes.
right. That's right. Everybody knows everybody. They're here because they like the people that they're around, and then the rest of it, you know, adds in to help them make that decision. But I've never heard anybody. In fact, what I hear more often is people that go home for the summer and they get antsy. They want to be back here with all the activities and all their friends around.
Get bored.
It's much quieter when they go home, and you know there aren't all the people around and all the things going on. So
So what, if you get addicted, you get kind of hooked
Yeah.
to these
Yes.
resorts.
That's right.
Then we've got Bruce Rasky asks, he says, "Hi Bob, here's a question I would like to ask all snowbirds and full-timers. If they were to do it over again at age 60, if they had a good job, everything paid for, and willing to retire but no nest egg for retirement, A, would they retire at 60 and sell everything and hit the road and work odd jobs? Or B, will they work until 65 and save as much as possible, then sell everything and hit the road?"
you know that's such great questions.
They're great
You know,
questions.
It's obvious that your fans are very intelligent. They
And they're
really,
serious, they have serious.
Yes.
It's not fluff, you know. It's
No.
they're good thought out questions. I think for us, we actually fall across both of those.
Yes.
Because we left early, sold all of our stuff and full time, and then ended up going back to work. And working in a property like this is not quite the same as, you know, being RV. Shut up.
Oh.
That's okay.
So you're saying, before we lost our video, you've done both of those.
Yes. So, and you know, at, I don't know, 59, we came back and went back to work because we really didn't have the nest egg
So
set
you
up.
first
that we-
retired in your early 50s, mid-50s.
Yeah. And so, you know, we knew that we were way off of, you know, Social Security or retirement benefits or anything like that. But we believed that we wanted the lifestyle so badly, like a lot of the millennials do now, that we were going to work our way around the country, which we were doing. We were
Work your way, meaning
It was kind
doing
of
odd jobs or moving?
semi-retirement.
What did you mean by that?
Cindy's job is completely mobile. It can be done from any place. So she did the exact same job she did when she was in a sticks and bricks office. And so that never changed. And it was me that was doing RV related jobs, like the sales job. It allowed me to, you know, provide a place for us, earn some pretty decent income, and keep going. It really wasn't part of our plan in settling down. We bumped into a gentleman that made us an offer for significantly more money, but still living in our RV. And the idea was, instead of selling advertising, I was moving into selling RV real estate. And so he took us down to Florida and put us up in a very nice park that actually sells lots. I got my Florida real estate license, and we started selling small homes, RV lots. The owner of the park was a builder, so he could build custom homes, did a lot of port homes, you know, where you can park your RV right in the house. And that got us into a position of being more stationary, still living in our RV full time, but not moving a lot. And I don't know if from a financial perspective, it was very good, but it hasn't been the most satisfying years.
Well, it's been kind of a unique situation because we're not retired, but yet we're living in a retirement community and all our friends are retired. So we're kind of reaping the benefits of the retirement lifestyle without actually being retired. So, we've done this for so long and we enjoy it, but, there will come one day that we will actually go out and really
Say, okay.
Be one of them.
be one of them, yes, and we're looking forward to that someday. Yes,
And
exactly.
I think, it's important to understand for anybody that's thinking about this lifestyle that there are just an unbelievable number of opportunities for people to continue
Yes.
to earn income.
Oh, there are.
And it can go anywhere from, an Amazon affiliate link that's posted on your blog up to a lot of the high-tech jobs today are very portable. They can be done remotely. And we see a lot of the millennials that are doing those types of jobs. It just never ends. This is going to sound completely weird, but I have this I'm enamored with the high technology of Amazon. And so at least 1 year, not that we need it, but at least 1 year I'm going to work as an Amazon camper because I want to see all of the technology.
See that little cart come right up to
Yes.
your table and load it up.
Yes.
I have a friend who did a season there, and she said it was incredible. They all became best of friends. They still communicate, and so I'm looking forward to
We
doing
met
that.
a couple in Quartzsite that had just come
Did you?
from that, and they talked it up pretty good. They were doing good.
Yeah.
One thing I want to kind of emphasize, and you kind of painted that picture, but people need to be really aware that you may have a route like the question asked about retiring a little bit early and working part-time and maintaining this lifestyle. But I did a little video about an exit strategy that I'd advise to maybe go and look at, but you have to be so conscious of doing it, and so maybe even have a cushion of RVing and traveling around and doing this part-time job, but there'll be a time, Terry was lucky enough that he had the skill set that transferred over to this, and then you maintained yours, same type of position. But if you quit your job at 60 and then at 67 you want to go back to work, if you don't have the right skill set, like me, I couldn't get a job. I'd be making minimum wage. My skill set just doesn't go to that. And then from that, you need to make sure you saved up enough money because, like for us, Pearl or I, one of us will eventually get unhealthy or die or whatever. Then that person's Social Security is gone, so I'll just have the one revenue source. So you just have to factor in not just what works for today, but what's going to work 10 years when you're 70, 80, and whatever.
It's very
So just think of
important.
that, but once you get that plan in place, whether you're 40 or 70, my vote is hit the road and go do it.
Well, and I think it's also, his question is very subjective. What's right for one is not for the other, but I do feel like it's important to have some kind of a nest egg, something, because you're going to run into RV repairs, you're going to run into unexpected items that you've got to be able to cover somehow.
And like
Otherwise,
you
you're
said,
stranded.
You can
So,
take your RV right to these parks. Remember these parks where you can just pull your RV right here and say, this is where I'm going to stay, and stay right there. But you need to think that out, what
Right.
you want to think you want to do.
right.
We also have some friends, and their exit strategy is they've purchased a piece of land someplace. And when the time comes, they're going to take their RV to their own piece of land and park it there, and there'll be no more bills, probably some minimal taxes, just because of the land value, but not much. And
think
they
that's
can
so
live
important, yeah.
very economically.
Right.
Right. Okay, then we've got somebody from Dreaming on Melrose Street. I would like to know if any couples RV full-time in a van or a Class B. And in their experience, does it seem like the couples they know eventually go up to at least a 25-foot RV?
What do y'all see here,
Have you?
Well, that's again, I just have to compliment your viewers because they're very intelligent questions. What we see is not so much of that moving up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's been very interesting. I think we're the end of an era. You know,
That's what my kids keep telling me.
well, you know, we want the big rigs and the extra space, but what we see is with a lot of younger people, much smaller rigs, and actually downsizing because they want to do more boondocking and they want the mobility to be able to get to remote areas.
And y'all are seeing that here?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a friend who is a single female. She always wanted to RV, and her husband got sick, and she had never quite made it. And when he passed, she took some of the insurance money and she bought a Class B. And I don't think she's ever looked back.
Really? And she's how old?
She's
Roughly.
63, 64. So, and she's just.
Have you heard her say there's anything, there's one of the questions she's going to have in a minute, is there anything that she can't do? With a Class B, probably she can, but any issue, like she had a flat tire, I'm sure she hooks up her utilities and stuff, but loading stuff up high or...
Well, kind of like your exit strategy, there's also a maintaining strategy. What do you do if those things happen? And there's so many good roadside plans. You know, most insurance companies will do roadside assistance and towing, and it's a very cheap add-on. You know, you really don't need to spend hundreds of dollars a year for that, and you can be pretty well protected in that. There's extended warranty programs, which I don't know. I don't have one on mine. But, you know, there are things. So it's not just the exit. It's the journey that you need to have planned out as well so that you know what to do when things happen.
Do you see 60 and 70-year-old single women specifically, but women and men?
Yes.
Coming in?
Yes.
And they don't have too much issues. They seem to be
really
they have an answer for every problem.
In fact, some of them are what I would have to call amazing. They just seem that they can do anything. They're the best of them have no hesitancy. They're very outgoing. They join into everything. They volunteer, and they just have a blast with life.
Do those people seem to be that are able to do this in their 60s, 70s, 80s? Real conscious of their health, whether it's eating or exercising? Do you notice that, or not so much? They're just in.
Not so much.
They're there at the cocktail hour and have some homemade ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that.
I mean, you know,
my answer was boring. I like that answer.
Seems like every day we find out something's either good or bad for you. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So you see a lot of them just enjoying life. Good.
So we've kind of possibly covered a little bit of this, but Amber Corley writes, how do senior citizens handle full-time living when a spouse gets sick or if they can no longer drive? Do they park in a site and stay stationary? Have you run into a lot of this?
Yes.
Being the manager in the parks and stuff?
And probably the most prevalent thing is to buy a small unit, a park model home, or even a small manufactured home. And they become full-time residents here. The most interesting thing about that is that the kids try to push them to do that. The kids want them in an environment where they're protected, where they have lots of friends around, where there's a lot of activities, so they don't get bored and they don't get down. And I get calls every so often from the kids of a couple where one of the partners has died, and they're like, we really want her to move down here. And it's heartwarming. We have I think 97 years old is the oldest person in our park.
Really?
And I will tell you that he's virtually blind. He is not in great health, but he does not back away from doing anything. And I talked to his caregiver. He has somebody that manages his finances and another person that manages his health care. And I talked to both of them because I wanted to feel comfortable that they were doing the right thing, that he wasn't just getting booted out because people didn't want to take care of him. It was just the opposite. They said he's from Kansas, and they said if he stayed up here for a winter, he would die.
Stayed in Kansas.
In Kansas, yep.
Oh,
So he comes down here, and he's at every event. He'll be at our concert tonight, I'm sure. And, you know, it's just an amazing thing. And that's the difference. I think anybody that's out doing things, keeping active, staying social, it adds to your life.
I think you're right there. The social part, it just
Right.
adds something
Right.
to the
You need an
desire.
interest in your life. You need to have something that keeps you going and gets you up every morning, and that's very important.
So this lady says, this is Amber again, she says, my husband will be retiring in the next 2 years and would really like a full-time RV. Since we will spend our money for an RV, we will not be able to buy a house later on a fixed income. Do many retirees stay in their RVs even later in life?
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, that's-
There's a way to do it.
So when we drove in, I noticed that there was one of the little homes for sale.
Yes.
What is an average sale price on something like that? Is there such a thing as an average?
Below $20,000, as inexpensive as $5,000. So very, very inexpensive.
Between 5 and 20, is that what
Yeah.
you said?
Between 5 and
And then
20,000?
there's a monthly rent?
Yes.
You rent the space.
That's right. And that can run anywhere from $300 to $500 a month. But I mean, if you have even a little bit of savings, you can move into something like that. And I think even the lowest Social Security would allow you to live pretty darn well.
And then you can sell that.
It's always of value, yes.
Right, it's not going to depreciate like.
I appreciate it.
Once
Right.
it gets to a certain level, you know, they actually cost new in the 40s. But resale units are readily available below 20.
Excellent, okay.
I think you all agree that was some pretty good stuff, pretty good information, and then we still have part 3 left to go. So hope you enjoyed it. You know the drill. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. Please leave your comments and subscribe to our channel. We certainly appreciate every one of you, and keep the wheels a rolling. Have a good day. Bye-bye.